must reach inside, feel what is true. Oh, look around you, look around the world. God bless the innocent, little boys and girls. See what's going on, make a video. Sing along, try to see it. We're gonna let you go. This is very cool. Turn to stone, it's hard to undo. So many people walking in their sleep, but with your Father, promise that you keep. See what's going on, and how it can grow. See the runner, this is very cool. Now we must stop. It's time to show some heart. This time we rise again. This time we fly again. It's time to show some love. It's time to rise above. This time we rise again, and we will fly again. It's time to play your part. It's time to show some heart. This time we rise again. This time we fly again. we rise up, this time we fly again, and we shall rise again. Fly again, rise again, fly again. We must rise Where's all the Bob Marley fans tonight? You know what they're here for? Lay some treats on us. You guys ready for some more Bob? Right on, right on. You guys give it up for Bubble. We are the Stylies. Up next is a Rebellion. We're so glad to be here tonight. Thank you guys so much. So y'all feeling all right? You guys say right on. We're gonna say right on. Check it out. Say right on, right on, right on. Bob doesn't end his songs, they just keep going and going.
Sam Jones.
So the volume, we're like going like, we're killing. So the ending of Bob's song is, as we like to say in the business, precarious. You guys feeling all right? You guys are partying over here at the bar. I like this. Table number one, you guys are rocking and rolling. I'm grooving, I'm flowing, I love it. You guys are awesome.
Everybody wiggle your body to this one.
This one's for you, Sam. Setting up with love, reggae music. We listen night and day. And every time you drive it down, we're going to come out and play. So we're bringing it to you, drive easy. And tell everyone that you know. Drop the attitude and the judgment. Aggressions we must let go. We must come together, color, creed, or religion, no matter. There's been peace and this love that we're after. Back to the topic, though, this peace that we're after. So tell everyone that you know, and the sky east towards your soul. Express yourself, my body and soul. We're running here, my body and soul. Right on. Ooh, style. You guys so much. This show is sponsored in part by Rastafari. You guys ready for some more Bob? Are you guys ready for some more Bob Marley? I can't hear you. got to reach 3rd Street now. I skip one place to 4th Street now. Heading on down to 5th Street. Well, I roll some spliffs on 6th Street. I've got to reach 7th Street. And not dreadlock bingy bongo high. Roots naughty, dread naughty, dread now. Dreadlocks bongo bongo high. Oh. From home, I don't care what the world says. Well, I ain't gonna have things our way. It's just like a bright and sunny day. We're gonna have things our way. Not DJ now. Rules naughty. Dreadlock Congo bongo high. Naughty rules naughty. Naughty dread. Naughty dread. Now. It's a naughty dread. Oh. Happy birthday, Bob.
I'd like to thank Bob for that song. It's a good song.
Thank you guys so much.
It's his fault.
She was on the phone doing a U-turn. What's on the other side said that he didn't need her. In high school he was classified as a dreamer. Now we got the munchies, so we're heading to the Krispy Kremer. That's her profile. I stayed stuck to the glue for a long while. Dropped out of college, started laundry in the clothes pile. Now he's looking good, feeling fresh, splash a new smile. Yeah! This one called Easy Skanking. Excuse me while I light my spliff. Oh God, I've got to take a lift. From reality I just can't drift. That's why I'm staying with this rhythm. Take it easy. Got to take it easy. Taking it easy. Taking it easy. Excuse me while I light this joint. Oh Lord, I've got to make a point. From the music, yeah, it's always point. That's why we're staying with this girl. Take it easy, skanking. Easy, skanking. Skanking it slow. Easy, skanking. Skanking it easy. Easy, skanking. Skanking it slow. Excuse me while I light this spliff. Oh God, I got to take a lift. From reality, I just can't drift. That's why I'm staying with this rule. Take it easy. Got to take it easy. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Take it easy. Taking it slow, we're taking it easy. We got to take it slow, take it easy, skanking. Got to take it easy, skanking. Easy, skanking. Easy, skanking. Excuse me while I light my bong. Oh Lord, I don't see nothing wrong. Come on, everybody, let's get with this song. That's why there's water in my arm. Take it easy. Got to take it easy. Easy, skanking. Easy, skanking. To it. River for the wine. Money for my strong drink. Earth for the wine, yeah. Honey for my strong drink. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy skanking. Easy. Got to take it easy. Take it easy. Got to take it easy. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Oh Lord, I got to take. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Oh God, I gotta take a lift, lift, watching Medical Cannabis Marketplace Live. Thanks for tuning in. This is MCM, live from the MCM studio. Medical Cannabis Marketplace Live.
Petty Fox starting this bad boy off as usual. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Perry Jones III, your host, and I mean, guys, you know how we do it. We're always bringing the special guests in. I'm welcomed and welcome back this week, guys. We are so excited for you to join in. We are now, I think, at our 7th or 8th now episodes. Got me super hyped. Consistency is where it is. None other. Guys, look who I have with me. You don't know him, but you will know his brand. I've got my great friend, Mr. Chris here of Masters of Cannabis. Excuse me, Masters of Bud. Masters of Cannabis, he is one. But Masters of Bud is the brand name. Right, so, like, thank Chris, welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, you already know, man. This has been a long time coming right here. Super psyched about it, man. Super psyched about it.
Me as well.
So let's go into it, man. I mean, people don't know. You guys know me. If you don't know me, the premise of our show, Medical Cannabis Marketplace, is to educate and inform our patients and people alike about cannabis and really the medicinal side of it, and businesses and brands, and letting you know products and all of these different things. And so I'm reaching into my contacts, right, on top of everyone around this place. And this right here is one of my personal contacts. He's a great friend of mine. We go back a good amount of time right now. Started in the industry. This man helped me really get my foot in on who I was going to be as a man. And so it's one thing to go in and be in the industry and flipping and flopping, you know what I mean? Yeah. But my man came through and he helped me to put these feet down and stand tall. And I mean, I have to say kudos, because like, you've grown, you know what I'm saying? So let's go into it, guys. I've known Chris a few years. We've done a lot of business together. Absolutely. We've been great friends and done a lot of friendships and parties together. Let's go into it. Chris, talk to me, man. Tell the people about you. Tell them about who you are first before we go into your brand.
First of all, you say, put your feet in the door, you put my feet in the door.
I appreciate
that. And I appreciate that 10 million times over. Know that, that's from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks.
But what you've done for me, you know what I mean? You showed me to go into and study different things to where now I'm coming back and being able to tell you things that you showed me, that you set me forth on the path of, you know what I mean? I could take kudos for this all day, but it's just not all on me, you know what I mean?
Right.
What I did is my due diligence that you shot me on. It told me, you know what I mean, what to do, on how to do it, and how important the cannabinoid system was for our body in the beginning, you know what I mean? I love the THC, and the THC is the fun part, but the cannabinoid system needs to be fed with that CBD, you know what I mean?
Listen, let me tell you guys, Chris is, when he says that, we come and we talk about this industry, right? And the industry has taken multiple facets, multiple changes, right? From, black market into the green market, the marketplace is where we're at now. And so to go in and knowing from our history, like you were mentioning, understanding the entourage effects, understanding the endocannabinoid system, understanding the medical side besides the behind the cannabis, not just the THC side. I thank you for that compliment because you definitely have been one of the people that have taken that knowledge and you explored it. You know what I mean? And then I'd say you Lewis and Clark'd it because not only did you go in on it, I know that I know my stuff and I love learning. And to watch you take these cannabinoids and formulate different medicines for patients, but not only that, understand how to educate the patients for the medicines for them. Let me go back a bit.
Yes, sir.
My man owns a dispensary. That's what it is, guys. I didn't properly introduce Chris. We are on that first name, Chris, here with Masters of Buds, but he is a dispensary owner, and not only that, he is a patient helper, and he has helped countless patients. Our partnership.
And a patient.
How many?
I said, and a patient.
And a patient. And a patient. I didn't want to, do his hip, but that's him. But and he's a patient. But he has helped countless patients, not just getting their licenses, but providing top quality medicine with different brands and then modalities throughout for the last 4 years, or actually the last 5 years that we've been inception. He's one of the first dispensaries to open in Tulsa area, in our area. And so not only that, he is one of the longest lasting ones up in his area, which is in Collinsville. And I mean, if you go in Collinsville, which is just north of Tulsa, about 25, 30 minutes or so, if that, you will find Masters of Buds. And let me tell you, when you step into his shop, him and Jess, it's very educational.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I commend you on that as well. But like I said, Masters of Buds dispensary, like, hard, bro. Hard.
I mean, we try to stand behind all of our product. You know what I mean? If one thing works for one person, it may not work for the next person.
Truth.
You know what I mean? People have been addicted to alcohol and so on and so forth for so long to where their liver doesn't digest like it needs to, you know what I mean, so on and so forth. So they're coming out with the nanotechnology and so on and so forth. So we're learning that and we're figuring out, you know what I mean, exactly what works for everybody, you
Right.
know what I mean? So that's the biggest part that we're setting forth now, is trying to figure out what works for every individual. And if you come to my place and anything that you get from me doesn't work for you medically, I want you to come back and speak to me, and let's do a trade-out system to where I can figure out exactly what makes you feel, how you need to feel, how you need to rest, you know what I mean? Because I take pride in being able to hear the story of you coming back telling me that you've been able to rest for the first time in a week, in a month, you know what I mean? You slept
Full
your
rest.
first night, you know what I mean? And that's just something for me, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I find real pride in that.
I take the same. I think that's why we mesh so well and have so much
Absolutely.
synergy, is that we know it's bigger than us, right? And so
absolutely.
each case is an ongoing case, and we want to meet people where they're at. And so, man, you've really done it up there. Tell me this. Now that you've got the dispensary going, what are some of the biggest things that you've noticed with the industry in your patient and demographic that has affected the most? Like, what is the biggest change now that it's legal, now that we have a medical program, and now it's been somewhat established for the last 4 years with the communication, like you were mentioning, for your patients?
I can say this sincerely, that I've seen several people that came to me who can come and give you their testimony on how much we've helped them get off of their medication that they've been on for 6 to 10 years, who the doctors are making them make a decision whether they take this medication or this medication, and they can't take marijuana along with their pain aids, which better do your research on the laws and vote yes, because they will be able to, and you know what I mean? And when they see how good the different types of medical marijuana affects their body, they'll lighten their way up on the medication. And we all know that our elderly please need to slow down on all the medications that they're doing on them, because they're just trying and trying and trying. And this part is fun to try because you can't OD on this.
Yeah. Well, and then you have the counters that you can always come back to and balance out. So
Exactly.
the CBD, which is what you were mentioning
Absolutely.
early on about not just the THC and the cannabinoids, right? You know, you get to go into more terpenes, flavonoids, and finding out these different things that can help that person. So, like, that's major kudos. So, tell us a little about that education that you go in and you sought out. Like, you mentioned early on about being put on and learning about these things. Go a little deeper into some of the things that you've learned that you're applying.
The reason I wanted to learn it how CBD could affect high blood pressure. Okay. Without having to take all this medication that they're putting my mom on. They're putting my mom on this medication, not knowing what works for her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she's a little bitty petite woman who doesn't do medications at all, very well at all. You know what I mean? So I tried the CBD, but the CBD doesn't work without that THC. It takes a little bit of THC to ignite that.
Yeah.
The CBD is your dynamite. The THC is your fuse.
Okay,
And
that's a good analogy.
you gotta have just enough for that. It doesn't take a whole lot of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have enough to get your brain messed up or you know what I mean, or whatever, but it takes just enough of that. And you don't have to take it during the day. You can take it in the evening time to get the effect until you
Balance
get your
it out,
really get yourself to where you can take a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until you get that right dose. And that right dose, when you get there, you'll know that 100 milligrams CBD is just like 100 milligrams THC when it's mixed with 5 to 10 milligrams of THC.
It's a combo.
I promise you.
I
Try
think
it one time.
that's one of the great things about medical cannabis is that you have the opportunity, especially in our market, to try, fail, adjust.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so having a place like yours that has that open door policy, which you made mention, which I feel is one of the greatest things that you offer, is that open door to say, hey, I purchased this stuff. This did not work for me. And while you know the product, you now can sit down and we can talk about what was it that didn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What can we do better? Let's add these things. And then the exchange program you were mentioning. I don't believe I've met many dispensary owners that have an exchange program, first of all, for their products, or actually go to that length of keeping that patient revolving.
Yeah, exactly. But if you think I want my patients to waste their money on something that doesn't work for them, it's not
That's
me
not it.
at all. And if the processor that comes into my establishment that doesn't stand behind all theirs as well, we won't do business.
That's something I'd like to talk about real quick before we go into a break here after a while. As a dispensary owner,
Yes, sir.
maybe I have this question.
Okay.
I wonder if other patients and consumers would have that. How do you vet your processor and you're choosing your different products to then serve for those patients, right? Obviously, like a gas station, you're going to go in, you're going to see shelves, you can be bamboozled and fooled by the packaging and, then trying to read testing. That would some of those patients that I'll go in depth with. As a dispensary owner, how do you go about selecting the products you're going to have for your patients in your market?
Well, we have 4 or 5 of us that test everything. We have our cannabis connoisseurs, which is
Okay.
me. We have my son who does the concentrates,
Okay.
so on and so forth. I test all RSO, and then we have Jessica who does all the edibles. You know what I mean? And she's a tough cookie to crack. So
What's
when we have
Jesse's? Let's
each-
give a shout out to Jessie. Jessie, if you're watching, then you will be watching. Let's shout out to Jessie. She's got her processing. This is a little premature. I have had it, and I don't do a lot of edibles, but Jess is amazing, and so I want to give a shout out to Jessie's brand. What's her brand?
Jesse Joe's and
Jesse
CMG
Joe's,
Exotics
guys.
coming soon.
Jesse Joe's. If you see it out there in the market, that's what you want to look for. Very pure, very
Absolutely.
pure products in
We
there.
don't do reused. We do infused. We
Yeah.
make from bottom to the top. She's a cook from rooter to tutor.
Let's go.
Everything from barbecue to all the way down to everything
Man.
in between. I ain't gonna give up no goodies
We
until you see
can't give
it.
all the secrets out. Y'all know how the show goes.
But
We
I
can't
promise
give all
you,
the secrets, but
y'all
I guarantee
enjoy
you're
it.
going to see her on here coming up soon. When we
Absolutely.
do that follow-up, so that's always good. Too loud? Oh, okay, good. You know what's cool about live shows, guys, is that when you hear the people talking and then you think that it's you, you can get this like vice versa. Y'all can't see it, but it's cool. Just so you know. All right?
It's awesome.
It's
It's
awesome.
awesome.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Okay, so a little bit back, you were just mentioning that the way you kind of vet those processors and different products that you're bringing is that you guys do testing in-house. And
In-house.
so
Oh,
it's your
absolutely.
team that's going through the
Absolutely.
individual products to say, okay, cool, I believe in, based off my expertise, this will be good for our location.
Because when a patient comes in and says they need a certain thing, need to feel a certain way,
Right.
I want to prescribe that right. I don't want to get them home and get them upset because
Yeah.
they didn't work right for them,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I want to be able to prescribe them right. That's why you get the rapport with one another automatically. You know what I mean? You get your rapport with one another, and to where they come in, I know exactly what to pull off the shelf for them.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Or get ready for them, so on and so forth.
I like that. That's that
You know what I
understanding
mean?
your patient,
Yeah.
understanding your customer,
I mean-
but really setting them up to
And I'm
win.
gonna tell you, terpenes. There's a lot of us that are fixing to go have to be able to be a bud tender. They're fixing to implement that into the rules to where we're going to have to start taking classes to know exactly what to prescribe, exactly the terpenes, what the terpenes do.
Understanding the balance of how all of these things are going to mix.
Everything. You got to learn everything. You got to be able to pass a class to be.
Listen,
a bud
we're going to
tender.
go into that,
That's
guys.
awesome.
Listen, we're coming back.
That's
we're going to get ready
awesome.
to take a quick break. Chris, this is us. Like, we can dive in on
Sure. Hey,
conversations
man,
and
anytime,
go.
anytime.
We're going to pick back up on this vote because we hadn't talked about that. That's what he's talking about is the vote that's happening next week. But,
Read your
on our
paperwork. Read your
when we come
paperwork.
back
Read
from
the
this
first 8
short break,
pages.
I'm telling you, when we come back from this short break, we're gonna catch up on that and then a little bit more about Chris and what he's planning for the future and then what's going to happen next for him. So, Petty Fox, man, take us into this little break, buddy.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
That's my man right there. Love it, love it, love it. Sorry, guys. Oh, and we get that. Whoa. Whoa. Like, I like all of that. Hey, welcome back, guys. We had to take that quick little musical. You know, I also put a commercial in there. Petty Fox is my commercial. That's what I like. Petty Fox, great job, brother. Great job. Man. Oh,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Gonna do it. We'll do it next time. Mic is up? Is it up? How we doing? A little closer. Pull me closer, tiny microphone. That's how, I'm sorry, working on my Elton John there. Guys, welcome back. It's me, PJ3, right here with MCM, Medical Cannabis Marketplace.
Hey.
And we got our special guest, Chris, with Masters of Bud here, guys. And so, welcome back, welcome back. We're going to pick up right where we left off.
Yes,
Chris
sir.
has got a dispensary out in Collinsville, Oklahoma, called Masters of Bud. Very popular, very local, very organic, very original, and has been here since the inception. So that, like, major kudos, boss, because that's what you are. You a boss. You know what I mean? Let's go back into where we picked off. You know, we were talking about something that's a big topic right now, going real big in the state of Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Really going across the nation right now. It's on everybody's mind. You know what I mean? Next week we have State Question 820. It's a vote for the state to now have recreational cannabis. You know, we're not about politics. We're about, you know, finding out what's out there, getting the right information, and correlating our interpretation of that, so that way we can best assist the people that are around us, you know, as well as take care of our businesses, you know. And so there's a lot of different ideas out there. There's a lot of different speculations and understanding of the law, interpretations, all of that good jazz, guys. What we're going to talk about as a dispensary owner, as a boss, we're gonna pick up where you just left off. You're very passionate. I hear your voice. It's like a lion out here roaring, you know, letting people know. Talk to me a little bit about your perspective of this vote going on. You know what I mean?
Well, with that being said, coming from a patient standpoint would be a good thing for us to make sure that we keep our cards. Okay.
Definitely gotta keep cards.
If you don't keep your card, most of us that have our cards now, we ride around with more than an ounce or, you know, 8 grams or something like that of,
Whatever the amount.
you know what I mean, of what our amounts may be. And that's something that you really have to stipulate and read yourself. If you think it's a good thing, it is. If you don't think it's a good thing, then it may not be for you. But it is for our state. It shows exactly the breakdown. If you go in and read the first 12 to 15 pages, you'll see a whole lot of good that it can do for Oklahoma. And they can stipulate and dictate a lot of different things across the board to where they'll have more control of things and eliminate a lot of things that are not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And if you think any of us dispensary owners want things that aren't supposed to be or that can make somebody sick or something like that, we'd be in a whole different business than this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's so many other ways to do things.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to complain about OMMA and complain about all these other things we could all sit here and do 9 times over, but they really care about the patient the most. They want the patient to make sure that they don't take nothing that can make them sick, to make them, you know, and when you mix several things together, we're still at the forefront of it to where we're learning that. And that's a good thing about them doing the testing and everybody complaining about it. But nonetheless, the testing is making it to where it's safe for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the base of it is the what it is for, like testing
exactly,
is for and understanding of what's inside of it.
And what they're doing is they're figuring out what it is good for.
Yes.
They know that it's good for inflammation. They know that it's good for anti-this, anti-that. They know exactly what it's good for. You know what I mean? But with that being said, they always want to say what it's bad for or what it's, you know, this for.
Yeah.
But they always want to bring up other people. They don't want to bring up the
No.
product itself being bad for you. It's the people carrying the product or the people that they want to say the black illicit market, so on and so forth.
Yes.
That's what they want to try to say is the bad part about it. The plant itself is not.
I like it. I like it. And I mean, coming from that perspective too, dealing with patients and understanding that it is a patient-driven tasking first. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's
is
about the
patient-driven.
patients. It's about the
Absolutely.
patients. And so, and I love hearing, again, different perspectives, because now, as a patient, that was from your dispensary
Yes.
owner, right?
Yeah.
Now, take that cap off. Let's go to your patient cap. As a patient cap, like, where's your hat on? What's your mind on when you hear the word recreation or adult use as a patient?
I believe that it should be, I believe that they should be able to do it because it's going to be done regardless. You know what I mean? Whether they do it or not. But I think that everybody should just know the rules. Know not to have over an ounce. Know not to have over 8 grams, or have your card.
Understanding.
You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the point. It's not if it goes right now. It's when it goes,
Right.
because it's going to go, and they've already have it to where what percentage goes to what percentage goes to schools, what percentage goes to
A breakdown.
a complete breakdown to where they know exactly that it's going to go. You
Okay.
know what I mean? And with that being said, if you read those pages, like I said, you will be.
Do your research.
Yes, it's so simple. It's just
Do
right
your
there.
research.
It's right there in front of you. If you go to the OMMA website, it'll bring out all that for you.
Man, that,
In
listen.
in layman's terms.
That you can
Anyone
understand,
it.
anybody can understand. That's the main thing right there. Well, now with this happening, all right, so we got your take on from the owner, right, providing for the patients, right? Then we've got your take on you as a patient. Regardless if it goes or not, because like you said, it will go. I mean, nothing is new
Yeah, for
under
sure.
the sun. We all know this.
For
I
sure.
mean, every state starts
sure.
with one, goes
For
to
sure.
another, whether
sure.
it's happened in the first year, 5 years, 10 years, it will be happening,
Absolutely.
right? So with that being stated, from your business hat, your boss hat, where do you see your business in the next 6 months, year? Let's go that. Let's say
All right,
this
I'll
next
tell
year in
you.
the future,
I'll tell you.
regardless of the vote, where you got?
You
Talk to me.
got it. You got it. With or without a revolt.
Yeah.
In the cannabis industry, we're fixing to come up with a cure for something. That way, can't nobody say anything about anything else, and we're going to have a way to where the feelings that you want to feel from all these other things that you're doing,
Yeah.
all these things that you're putting in your body, we're going to be able to kind of give you that without the
Manipulate it without the side
without the
effects.
side effects
Yeah.
or the ill will that it causes. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you can do that with dang near all that we have that you can make you feel that what you're looking for. That can hit them cannabinoid system in your brain.
I like this dream.
But if they don't, you know what I mean, legalize it just yet, we're gonna keep our street dealers dealing. We're gonna keep other things going and keep other things.
Will that ever stop? I
believe so. I believe so.
Do you think so? You think
Now,
that
heck
the
yeah.
side hustles will stop as
Heck-
it goes?
No, I don't believe side hustles. I said just street dealers in general. You know what I mean?
okay.
I believe it'll slow it down.
Okay, I concur.
Because I mean,
concur.
who would want to go get something that could have E. coli or
Whatever.
or mold or some kind of metals
Or
in it?
in
You
the
know what I mean?
bag-
I
no
don't want
offense,
that.
probably
You know
the
what I mean?
baggies not in
As a
there.
patient, please don't give me that no more. I don't want no more seeds. I don't want no more none of that. No more none of that, please. No
We've
bricks,
outgrown
no
that
bricks.
now.
Yes, please.
No seeds, please. No seeds.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's amazing, man. I'm excited to see that. I think like that right there with either way, you're prepared, right?
absolutely.
Either way, you're ready to make sure that patients
Absolutely,
are prepared.
absolutely.
And I think that's really the biggest thing
Absolutely.
right there.
And you know, there's a couple of things that I'm going to do, like on the back of, when you get your prescriptions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have different things on the back of mine, with your paperwork, with your tickets and everything on the back of
Okay.
it. I'm going to have different little things on.
Like little directions.
You're going to
and,
see.
you know,
okay.
I'm
gonna tighten you up on that.
And so you guys know, like, you don't know this about me. I feel, and I mark myself, I'm pretty resourceful. I think that I'm on the forefront of a lot of things. I believe that. But when it comes to being put in that forefront, the person who helps me and shows me all the new things, right, and is this man right here. I get a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I've had a lot of different products, a lot of different tools, modalities. When it comes to really finding out the tools and things necessary for patients in general, major kudos to Chris because he puts me on. There's so many, like the stunning glass. You know, I see it, and then you see different things that are out there. I'm gonna put it on our show next week.
Wait till he hears about this Jesse Joe's and this CMG Exotics that we put out.
See?
We're going to have all natural probiotics that's going to be CBD infused with certain things for the body and help the body, help the stomach. With all you people that have them tore up stomachs from different types of medications and so on and so forth, I'm going to help you be able to fix that. I'm going to show y'all how soon enough.
Hey, you eat those hot Takis and
Sorry.
those Cheetos, we're going to get you squared away.
I
is what
got
he's
you.
trying to
I
tell
got you. I got
And
you.
so-
But all of us, hey, listen to me. Here's the thing about all of it. A complete breakdown of it, just simple. We've been fed bullcorn for so long, and we have. Our cannabinoid system is not being fed right.
Yeah.
1 in 10 colleges teaches this now, that it says that our body forgets how to make itself happy.
Yep.
It forgets how to teach itself to heal itself.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
That's our cannabinoid system.
That's our
1 in 10
endocannabinoid system,
And
yes.
that 1 in teach, hey, do your research. 1 in 10 colleges teach this now.
Mm-hmm.
If our bodies have forgotten that, we need to remember how to remember it. And this is the way to do it.
When you supply
And
it.
hey, you're the one that got me to do it.
Hey,
You understand?
let's go.
I got to give a shout out to her.
I have
too.
my wife Whitney. Shout out to the Queen.
Please.
Like she really put it on and put this information out there.
Invited
We
me to
talked
their
about
home. Invited me to their home.
Our first CBD. Now that we go back, like our first 6 years ago, about 5-6 years ago, we launched into the CBD market. Me and my wife, we brought
Changed
it here.
my life.
And we had, like most companies, we did our first at that time. This is before it was legal, actually. We did this at our house.
Absolutely.
And funny story, real quick funny story. It was, you remember this. We were sitting there, and most people didn't understand the modalities. They don't know what modalities are. We ended up having this rub that was a lotion. It was a rub. And then we also had some edibles and things that were there. We had the rub on if you've had a Bluebell ice cream, you would know the little wooden stick. The little wooden stick, you just put your little ice cream cup, that's all you got, right? So we had this as a sample, and we're passing it around. I think we had probably about 15, 20 people in our living room getting ready to do this presentation and things. And so it's me and my wife. I'm walking around, handing out the stick. They got the CBD on it. Before I make around the room, the guy that was there, he done ate his and his wife's stick. It was like, hey, Perry, this tastes a little funny. It ain't got no taste. What is this? And I was like, man,
That's rub.
I didn't even get the chance to explain what it was. And he already had ate it. And so we're like, this is a rub. And they're like, what's a rub? And I was like, it's a lotion. It goes as a
Salve,
topical. It's a
salve,
salve.
yeah.
They're like, we don't know any of these terms. And so
that make you sick?
that was the story when he came. We did the CBD, and that was our intro into the
Where we
cannabis
began,
game.
where we
and
began,
then
that's
where
for
we
sure.
began. And anybody who knows me, you know I'm a big proponent of CBD. Like
me
my
too.
system is so jacked. Like thank God, I have not had as much. I would say that is to the boosting of my immune system, but my endocannabinoid system, I'm boosting it, and CBD is the way to do it. So
You
like,
wait till you see this, what I'm
and
making.
THC is always there, but CBD now I'm boosted on it.
Yes,
So
yes.
shout out, needless to say, shameless plug. THC2 CBD. You can find that on the shop. Look down below, all that good jazz, and then definitely make your way out here to Collinsville, Oklahoma,
please do,
north
please
of
do.
Tulsa,
I'll make you wait
about
a while.
25 minutes. It's called Masters of Buds, and you're either going to see Chris or you're going to see Jesse in there. And that's what I also love about their shop is while you can't implore others, us moving into independent mom and pop shops has employed in that area. And like he mentioned, his testers are his family. If you don't trust the family and can't get right
Man.
results, we gonna have something. So
Absolutely.
that's definitely in. Chris, man, I want to tell you thank you so much for being here, my friend. Thank you for the show. My man, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and I got something special for you. We got Dr. Jason Sims of Tulsa Higher Care Clinic, excuse me, the Higher Care Clinic, the very first doctor to speak on the state of Oklahoma for the intro of medicinal cannabis, also in the region. And let me tell you, the man has helped countless of patients in the region of 4 to 5 states. So stay tuned. We're going to take out with Petty Fox, Dr. Sims, me. We're coming right back to you. Drive with a taco, and I got Hey, you pretty folks, you. Oh, my goodness. Welcome back. Petty Fox, man, thank you so much for that music melody, as usual, man. I know. I'm going to get it. Hey, hit that button. Can you hit the applause button? There it is. Yeah. and we got a whistle. Like, I mean, I thought we were just going to get some clapping, but we got a whistle in there, too.
Better than this. Yeah.
Hey, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. This is the second half of the show, and I have got a special one with us. This is Dr. Jason Sims from the Higher Care Clinic, a.k.a. THC2. Wow. Thank you so much, Jason. Excuse me. Dr. Sims, right, for coming on tonight. I mean, just a little backstory. Guys, he's going to tell us, but this man right here, the very first cannabis business to open up in Oklahoma. In 2018, him and his partners decided to say, hey, we are going to be the first people to touch patients and give them the education. And shameless plug, like, wow, right, because he's my partner, but also because it's another version of what we've done. And in 2018, Doc, I mean,
almost 5 years ago.
Almost 5 years ago. Wow. Like, let me give it a little history for people that don't know Dr. Sims. Like, let's learn a little bit about Dr. Sims, and then we're going to go into your passion, your mission, and how we've gotten to where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like, give us a little history, Doc. Like, where are you a doctor from? What made you become a doctor? Like, who are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm from here. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. So Okie, born and bred. And then went to high school here in Tulsa, Edison High School. And
Edison
ended
Eagles?
Ended up over at, through TCC. I did physical therapy through there, worked up at the hospital, and learned about osteopathic medicine at the Tulsa Regional Medical Center before it turned into OSU Medical Center. So, and then started working towards being, getting my doctor of osteopathy there.
Okay.
Went to started in 2002 at OSU, College of Osteopathic Medicine. Graduated from there in 06, and then graduated from residency from OSU in 2009. And then went to work out at Cleveland Area Hospital. Where
Cleveland
I was
Hospital, not Cleveland.
Cleveland area,
yeah. Cleveland area, right?
In Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, Cleveland.
Yeah, very small 13-bed, hospitals. Yeah, so where I took over as the ER director to start with, and moved into started the hospitalist program there as well. Became chief of staff.
Wow.
Out there, worked there for almost 10 years.
Man, started a program and then stayed in that program, watched it develop.
Exactly.
That's real right there.
And then moved into this when this came about. Whenever we got the call, I used to tell my friends and family that if this ever went legal, I was going to do something. I mean, I didn't really even believe in it back then.
Right.
I said I was still going to do something, and that was 15 years ago now that I said I was going to do something if this ever came legal. And then I decided I probably wasn't going to be able to do anything, and then we got the phone call from you guys, and then we kind of all got together and put it together, and boom, we were open in 2 months?
Less than that. I think it was like a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Yeah, almost 2 months, and so we opened the day after the vote, and
we've been running ever since.
It's been a freaking roller coaster since. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. Now we're in not only Oklahoma, but now we're in 5 states now?
Yep, 5 states now.
Yeah, it's 5 states,
the word.
definitely.
I wish I had that button.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm working on it. I'm going to get this
we
thing.
Get the button.
Yeah, we're going to get the engineer thing. This is the
button.
8th week, right? I'm saying it. I'm going to get this engineering board where I can hit these buttons and feel like that guy that's just like, yeah. That's easy, We're going to put all those graphics in there.
Exactly.
So, man, Doc, that just speaks volumes of really the integrity and character of you, like to first take that step to help people.
Right.
And just go into medicine was one thing, right? And we all know to become a doctor, it takes time. You've got residency, you've got a lot of, and not only that, the memory of some of these words, like, I mean, that's, we're not even going to go into it from my layman term over here, right? My peasant feel. But then to branch out, I think one of the biggest things that speaks out to me about you is the fact that you were able to leave something that you built and developed, right? You started that program in Cleveland. You stayed there, was over there for 10 years, and then this came along, and the call happened, but you were like, to be at that stature of a doctor and seasoned, and then all of a sudden say, you know what? We gonna go try this over here. Like, that speaks volumes. And to this day, you've helped hundreds of thousands of people. And I know you helped people before, but just in cannabis by itself, hundreds of thousands amongst these 5 states. And so I know you may hear it often, but I'm going to say it like, we thank you on behalf of patients out there. I thank you because not only just for business, but just your sheer heart to continue that passion of and compassion of helping people and constantly educating yourself. So I think one of the great things I do want to take heed and mention about not only Dr. Sims's medical expertise within cannabis, right? Because it's one thing to go and say, hey, you're the first cannabis business, right? I mean, that's before dispensaries, that's before processors, growers, marketing, any of that. We're the doctor's office. To get a license, you got to see a doctor. But not only that, to separate yourself amongst these doctors that are what people will know as a pot doc, right? Or, I'm sorry, I don't know where the quotations come from. Feels weird. Did it, done now. But to separate yourself from those other doctors that see this as a quick gimme, a quick grab, right? Your education, can you speak a little bit about that from the doctor standpoint? If it wasn't taught before, really, how did you seek out that and become such an expert in leading to speak at OU, speak at OSU, speak in front of plethora of colleges, plethora of services of people, plethora of other knowledgeable individuals? Could you speak on that for us?
I mean, you have to search for it. I mean, it wasn't easy. It's gotten a little bit easier now. There's a couple of places you can get some education from a little bit easier now than you could, 5 years ago.
Definitely.
4 years ago, even a year ago, truthfully. But we reached out to where we could. We reached out to Israel. We reached out to Dr. Raphael Meshulam, who is the guy that found THC, found CBD, did the first studies on it, found that it actually has medicinal value, read all the different studies, read all the different things, watched all the different crazy documentaries, from the crazy ones to the good ones, from watching the horror stories.
Sorry, I'm laughing so hard. I'm just thinking about all the
from
Netflix
Devil's Harvest
ones.
all the way down. Exactly.
Devil's Reefer Madness,
Reefer
all
Madness,
of the different
we
ones.
did it all. So, but yeah, it was just a lot of searching out and trying to find stuff, and then it's a lot of anecdotal stuff too, because there's not a whole lot of
research,
hard research studies that are double-blind controlled studies in this stuff, because it's so hard to do because there's so much stuff out there. And there's so many different things. They can't just do one thing. You have a gamut of stuff. So you're doing a lot more cohort type studies. You're doing a lot more case type studies. Talking to people, and seeing what works best for them, and then seeing what you can do to move that over to somebody else, and then putting together those databases of what helps who and what helps the best things for what.
And then numbers, right?
Exactly, and then just sheer numbers.
Man, that speaks volumes, Doc. And for those that don't know, Dr. Raphael Meshulam, like he mentioned, the University of Israel, that's the leading study for cannabis in general in the world. And Raphael Meshulam and his team, he's the leader of that team. But Dr. Sims is blessed that we're able to connect with that group through the Tulsa Federation and be able to get that education and information to patients, which is what is being used right now. I think another great thing that you've done, besides the helping of the patients to get the license and the education and being able to open the door to allow them to come back, and then you're getting a lot of repeat. I think the other thing, which I'm really proud of, is the products that you've made. So as a doctor and having a doctor's office, it's not just stating, hey, go get your license, this is what you want. You're able to produce and manufacture a product that actually can help and does benefit. And you created the dosing of it and everything. Can you talk a little bit about like what products you chose and why you chose them and how they actually do work and things?
Definitely. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, we do our own CBD. We have just a couple different types. We have several different levels of the CBD. We only use the full spectrum, full spectrum CBD, which means it still has everything in it. It comes straight from the plant that way. It still has some THC in it. It has the CBD. It has, the other cannabinoids that are in there as well as some of the terpenes also. And then we only mix it with, MCT oil. You know,
One ingredient.
And, one ingredient. We do add. We have a couple of products that we do add some more stuff. We add some CBN to it for because CBN helps with sleep. CBN helps with anxiety, relaxation. Then we also are doing a CBG now as well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of is really good. Even more anti-inflammatory, but also for a lot of people it gives you energy. Including us. I mean, for some people it's like, oh, it makes me tired. For us, it gave us a whole bunch of energy, like way too much. So at first, I had to tone it down because it was too strong when we first started. So, but yeah, we have several products like that. We have a good topical. We just need to get some labels for it right now because we're out of it. But and then an RSO, CBD RSO as well. But yeah, we. Each one of them is formulated for different types of people, for different things. We even have a pet CBD that's bacon flavored, and actually tastes halfway decent. Tastes like smoked bacon. So yeah, but it's all oil based. For now, it's all tincture based. But yeah, I mean, it's been helping a lot of people.
For those that don't know, a tincture, you have different modalities. Modalities are types of ways that you're going to partake the medicine, right? And so one modality is the inhalation, right? Then you go into a topical, you go into an edible, sublingual, you go into what's the other ones? There's a plethora, all right? But what we're talking about is the tinctures. And the tincture can go, and we're going to get them on the show, our bottles on our next one. The tinctures range from anywhere from 750 milligrams up to, I think it's 5,000
right now. We're getting ready to do the 5,000, yeah.
And so those just range, and like you mentioned, those are full spectrum. But with those being the tincture with the mix of the MCT coconut oil or MCT oil, that binding agent will allow you to take that sublingually under the tongue and digesting, or you also are able to put that on a like a rub, like a topical, because the oil will absorb exactly where you place it. So like for muscle spasm, rolled ankles, things of that nature, you can put your CBD directly on it, not just healing from the inside. And so
even for dry skin, acne, even that kind of stuff. It even helps, So
okay. Well, you know
Bug
what I was
bites,
thinking? Maybe, and they do them in bath bombs. Like if you take a bath, like olive oil, not olive oil, but what's that oil you would use? There's all kinds of oil. Gosh, dang it! Whatever. My mind just slopped. Whatever. But anyways, you can add the oil to the water, and the water's gonna be good. So that'll be good.
Essential oil. Essential oil.
Essential oil. That's what I meant to say. Essential oils. That's what I meant to say. I can't tell them all the ingredients, right? That's amazing to hear that not only you were able to start the process, help all of these patients, continually helping the patients, opening the door for them to have that two-way talk. So if the first measure doesn't work, the first try doesn't work, that you actually seek your medical professional, not your bud tender, right? Which I believe that with the education you provided, with like our previous guest, Chris, he's picked up on a lot of that education. So it's beautiful to watch the transgression of this system develop, really. And so kudos and thank you for those things right there.
Yeah, education is the number one most important thing. So I mean, the more you know, the better you're going to do.
Correct.
And so I mean that's why that's what we started off doing, was educating patients even before we ever saw a patient.
Correct.
We were educating them. As soon as we opened the doors. Yeah. Because we couldn't see anybody when we opened. No. For 2 months, we didn't do not one single patient. People came in, we gave them education. We told them kind of what was coming.
We
said,
that.
come back.
Give you a little backstory on that. When the clinic had first opened, the vote passed on June 27th. It was the 26th or 27th? I think it was 26th.
26th, because we opened on the 27th.
The 27th is when it was open. It passed on the 26th. That 27th, we were open at 8 a.m. June 27th all the way to August 1st. August 1st?
Well, August 1st is when we started. But it was August 26th before the portal opened. Yeah.
So for that 2 months there, a month and a half, there was no money exchanged whatsoever. There was only education as to what the state was doing, how it applied for your license, and that was the jump start. And you talk about uproar of people driving from all over the state to see what was happening, and then turn around on August 1st and hasn't stopped since. We've been able to grow from seeing patients daily in person to when COVID happening, switching to telehealth, and now leading in telehealth, where I would say like, well, it's a big part of the business, right? To helping patients and making it convenient for them, but being able to shift with medicine at the same time. Speak on the other things that you've grown with the clinic. You now offer more services like a traditional clinic, right? It's not just seeing patients for the recommendations and renewals, right?
Right. Yeah, we now we do have some membership health services now where you can actually come see us as your primary care doctor.
Awesome.
We don't take any insurance, of course, but
All out of pocket.
You know, exactly, all out of pocket, but it's
It's the lowest
a lot
cost.
cheaper than paying for insurance. Most of the time, you know, it's just as cheap as a copay, really. But we do that. We have men's health as well. We do a lot of that. We also do IVs.
Definitely.
IV
IVs.
hydration, also, and then we're we're all in the CBD, of course.
CBD
you
is
know,
there
as well.
as the product, and I think that.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm just that's good. That's about all I have to say
Well,
about that.
and what's beautiful about those, that's all I got to say about that. What's beautiful about the services that you just mentioned, hydration. Hydration helps the body to circulate the fluids, which will allow you to take the medicine and actually has a better effect because it's actually flowing through your body. I see that. That is amazing. Explain a little bit about men's health, if you don't mind. Like, we know, and I feel like I've heard it, but there's not really many commercials that do a
Right.
breakdown on it.
Yeah, they
what
don't
does
do
that mean?
There's
really?
a lot of commercials and stuff out there. They don't talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but basically, it's as a male, as we get older, our levels of testosterone a lot of times decrease, and we have other problems, in the bedroom. We have libido, and with loss of muscle mass, and we gain weight and that kind of stuff. And a lot of times we can reverse some of that. So, especially if the reason's testosterone, we can replace that. I mean, we can give you shots to replace it. We can, if you need, a pill to help you with some libido and help you in the bedroom, we can do that
Got
too.
you there. Okay.
And then if we find something else, because we'll do labs, we'll find something else, then hey, we have something else to work with as well. If your problem's hypertension, we can push you down this other road. You know what I'm saying? So we can actually do some stuff like that. Do the labs, to find out what's going on. Do the physical exam. Do the vitals, all that kind of stuff. We can do EKGs. If we need to,
okay.
we can do PFTs here in clinic as well, as we need to as well, to find out what's going on with you. To make sure
Yeah.
you're doing better. Of course, that's all separate from the the cannabis medicine part of it that we do, where we do the recommendations, which is what we do most of still right now. I think that's hopefully is going to change here, probably pretty soon. But and we'll talk about that, I know, here in a minute too.
Yes, sir.
But the most important thing, I think, even though we offer this, we offer that, we offer this, and the reason why I even wanted to do this in the first place,
Yes.
truthfully, is to get people off medicine. Because medicine's killing us.
Yeah.
All these meds are killing
Blockers,
us.
right?
We're taking pills for everything, and people think, oh, I have this wrong, I got to take a pill. You don't have to take a pill most of the time, and we had, as in Oklahoma, we're one of the largest states for
Opioid
narcotic
use.
use,
Oh,
and
my
opioid
gosh.
abuse and overdoses, and
Yeah,
and all
truth.
that other stuff. And
Truth.
I mean, just our clinic by itself has done. We've gotten 25,000 patients off of opiates. That right there is a
Numbers.
reason to do this.
Numbers.
And, yeah, and so, and we have that data,
Data.
and then we have, countless others that we've gotten off benzos, because Xanax is a horrible freaking medicine, horribly addictive. I've had people die, in front of me on this stuff, and it's terrible stuff. And then you have the other medicines that over 50% of the population takes an antidepressant or anti-anxiety medicine, and they all have freaking horrible side effects.
Yeah,
I've
it's the
taken
side
them. They
effects.
have
It's the
horrible
side
side
effects.
effects, and so. That's the main reason why I got into this and wanted to do this, and why I'm still doing it,
Right.
because we're still talking to patients, still talking to people every day that are like, I don't take any more meds,
Right.
and now I'm a functioning part of society, instead of in bed the whole all the time and on disability.
Right,
They're actually
right,
out
right.
working now. So
That
so
speaks
that's why we're
volumes.
here. That's why exactly.
Man.
That's why we're here.
I didn't even have to ask it
Yeah.
because it comes out.
So-
That's what I love about like having natural conversations is that your passion starts to come just naturally, and this is very organic, and that right there just further validates like obviously the testament of who you are and why you're still getting and helping so many people, because your heart's showing that. And so, man, that makes me so happy. Listen, guys, I could be up here all day. We gonna get ready here in just a little bit to switch over, take a quick break because my mouth is dry. So, like, I would lie to you and be like, yeah, we're just going to do. No, my mouth is dry. So we're going to get ready to take a break. And when I come back, we're going to follow up with Dr. Sims, and we're going to see, now that we know what he's done, what is it that he has planned for the future? What does he see happening in the state, but also as a national plan, as a physician helping patients, and then, you know, the adult use to the patient use. So pay attention. Come back to us. We'll have Doc right back. We'll see you in just a minute. Petty Fox, show us something special, bruh.
We're back.
Yeah, mocktails. Hey, sorry, folks. As you see, my throat is not parched anymore. I have moisturized my throat, and it has water, hydration, no IVs.
And use a little boy's room.
Little. Welcome back, Dr. Sims. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us again. Hey, real quick, before we even go back into Dr. Sims, we have something really cool up, guys, and we can see you. And so we noticed that we had a couple of questions that have come through, and it's just really cool. So I want to take this time real quick to just do a quick Q&A real quick while we have Dr. Sims here, because, I mean, who wouldn't want to ask the doc? Like, why not? So let me pull this up real quick. I think our first question is from Chris right down here. And what's it say? It says, what is the best strand for headaches and muscle aches or muscle cramp spasms? Excuse me. All right, cool. Man, we're going to have to touch up our gray and black over here because like, it's fading in there for real. I'm like, hey, y'all settle down with these glasses talk. Yeah.
You just turned 40. You're going to need some glasses here pretty quick, I guarantee.
Here we go.
Guarantee
there it is, guys. This is what I want to hear now, guys. I mean, if you guys want to send birthday gifts to the studio, preferably not glasses. Not glasses. All right. Sunglasses at least. Doc, let's get right into it on that question right there. I think that was a great question. It's a common question. Most people try to start with that, right? It's what strand is best for this headache or this muscle spasm? Would you go in with it?
And there's a whole bunch of different ones, obviously. That help different people. Different people. Like different things, and they help it for different things. I will say though that all the studies, all the people that I've talked to, all of them have been the high CBD strains.
High CBD strains.
High CBD strains. High CBD cultivars. The 1-to-1s, 2-to-1s, 4-to-1s, CBD to THC ratios that really help headaches, especially. I mean, I've had patients that their migraine goes away. One puff off a high CBD strain, their migraine goes away and stays away for 2-3 days. Gone. And and then for the muscle spasms, I'll tell you truthfully, the rubs, the salves, the lotions work so flipping good
because they're direct,
for the muscle
right?
spasms because you're right there on it. Yeah, you're putting it right there where you need it. I've even done it if I did too much in the yard, got a muscle cramp or whatever, put it right on there and went right back out to the yard. Those don't go to your head. So you don't mess. They don't mess with your head most of the time. For most people, so you can put that on. You can keep doing your stuff all day long. And they might last an hour. They might last all day. You don't know.
Tell them you have this great saying that I love hearing about medicine. Like you're not supposed to feel it.
Medicine isn't meant to feel. It's meant to make you do more. So you're not supposed to feel medicine.
Right,
Medicine's made for you to function. That's why there is medicine. So you shouldn't feel it. You should just be able to do more things and be better because of it.
Makes sense.
And so that's the total approach I take on this. As well. You don't need to feel it to do better.
To feel in order to be better.
Exactly. And to feel better and to do more things and to get better sleep and you get better sleep, you feel better no matter what. That's one of the huge problems with our whole society. We don't sleep enough. We don't get the right kind of sleep.
We're not fully resting.
There's a lot of disease states that's what they're there for because we're not getting the right kind of sleep.
Right.
We're not getting good restful sleep and this is one of the few things that can really help it. As well. So
another question, real quick. Says
I don't see nothing.
Nope, I don't see nothing either. But it's because it's me, and I'm going to ask this question. It will lead right into kind of where we piggybacked off of our previous guest. From your medical standpoint, right, why should a person have their card as opposed to not having their license if the market becomes an adult use or a recreational market?
Right. There's a lot of reasons. Besides the saving money, besides being able to have more, purchase more, there's the protection too. A lot of places a lot of places, especially employers, are going to be like, hey, we don't care if it's recreational. If it's adult use, you still can't use it unless you got a card. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have a doctor recommending it. But then whenever you're a patient, you have more resources. You can ask questions. You can you have somebody you can call up here. Send us a message. Send us messages on here. However to get a hold of us and ask us questions. If you're having a problem.
Access.
A lot of times you can't get that, from, especially
Anywhere.
whenever from a lot of the adult use places. I mean, we went in there. We saw it in Colorado when we first went up there. Whenever all this happened, we went up to Colorado to do some research. They can't tell you nothing.
No.
They can't say you could use this for this. You could use this for this. They just basically told me, hey, you can get high with this one. And I was like, I don't want that, and they couldn't believe it. I was like, I just want to feel better, and they thought I had a horn growing out of my head. Looked at me so crazy.
It was a different time when you went up there.
Yeah,
I remember
definitely.
That. I remember
and
that.
So,
research.
I mean, a lot of times, with the adult use market, you don't get any information.
Yeah.
But with a patient-based market, with a medical part, you are able to get a lot of that education. I mean, because that's, like I said, that's what we pride ourselves on, is giving out the most education more than anybody else. And I hear it every day. The last doctor I talked to didn't do nothing. They came on and then said, okay, here's your card. They didn't tell me anything. They didn't give me any pointers. And then I went off, and the bud tender told me to try this 30 milligram edible, and I don't ever want to touch this stuff again because I was out for 3 days.
Yeah.
And
Bad
so
effects. Bad
yeah,
effects.
so there's a lot of different things on there that are there to protect you. And I think that's probably the biggest thing with the patient use versus adult use, or the medicinal versus recreational, is protection. For a lot of it, and then more, and of course more education, along with saving money, and because there's a lot of money to be saved.
Definitely,
for sure. So
and most don't know this. The average consumer in 2022, I believe, is when I checked that last. The average consumer was at $500 a month in their cannabis, and so like that's that's $125 a week, and that's a breakdown of whatever you want to break it down to. And so knowing that you have the option with the clinic to do a membership base or have a place that has a low cost like copay so that you can communicate about these different modalities and medicines you're starting to take is a big thing. I think that's one of the other great things that adds to your practice, not only that you're able to help them with the medicinal cannabis start point, but you also can go into helping them with the other things in medicines as being their PCP. So, I think that's a really great thing that you're able now to evolve and do those things for patients. Man, definitely, Doc. Man, thank you so much. I think it's amazing. I know there's another question out there because it's not often that you get a doctor on. So I know that some people want to hear something. Let me look and get another question while we got you on here real quick, Doc, because I believe that people want to know some things. Now, here's the difference. I can't see the other questions on my thing here. My screen's just stuck. I'm not even going to lie to you. I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'll just ask Doc a question. There's a plethora of questions that people want to know. The last one was which strand was best. We went over the different modalities, and then we just went over whether or not to. What's the difference, more or less, of the having your license and not having your license, right? Now, what we hadn't touched about was we talk about the licenses and stuff as if they are all the adults making the decisions. What we hadn't talked about, and you've done a plethora of them, are pediatrics, right? Whether it's the parents learning or they're getting something to their child. Can you speak on that demographic of your patient count and how you can help address those or help those people?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we see quite a few peds, minors, basically under the age of 18. And then, of course, if it goes, adult use, that's only age 21 and over. So even if you're under the age of 21, you'd still have to have a card no matter what, to be able to do this. But for the pediatrics, yeah, we've seen some really good things come from it. We've seen a lot of people get off a lot of the, their medicines and stuff. I know I even read today, that Adderall is on back order now.
Oh, wow.
It's on national shortage. But there's stuff that can help that. There's different kinds of strains that can help with that kind of stuff without a lot of those side effects that some of those other meds have. But the ones that I like the most on the kids are the ones with cerebral palsy, the ones with the really debilitating autism and that kind of stuff, and see how much they change and how much better they do with this stuff, how much more relaxed they are, how much more they're not so angry and they're not hurting themselves or others, and and they talk a lot too, and they show some affection and that kind of stuff, and that's probably the coolest, truthfully, with a lot of this stuff, especially with the kids. But we do see a lot of kids. I mean, we see quite a few kids. We see much more adults, of course, obviously. You know, usually it's 55 years of age and older. But yeah, once you go, I mean, adult use doesn't include kids at all.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
and no state does it.
No,
No state are you allowed to under the age of 21 to purchase cannabis. So even
Well,
through
did you
that.
know,
So,
fact for those
yeah.
out there wondering, and maybe it never occurred to you, but that's a good one right there. Yeah, or devices,
Yeah,
right?
mhm.
So yeah, they won't be doing anything.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's medicine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the medicine is starting to show itself in multitude of
Mm-hmm.
ways from the different ways that they're bringing it. So I think that's a really cool avenue, not revenue.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Not revenue,
Yeah, yeah,
avenue
yeah.
is what I meant to say for what you're currently doing. So, okay, now that we've done that, Doc, tell me a little bit about what you see in the future then. What do you have planned? What's going on? What do you see yourself and your business and what you've been
Right.
and
Well, I mean,
out there?
hopefully we'll be able to, help more people, obviously, and I know that, so, okay. And then, so hopefully we'll be able to, like I said, help more people, do some more things. Hopefully we're going to be able to start doing some research as well.
Yes.
Doing a little bit more research with this plant, and different things that can maybe help with that, other people don't think about, and some different modalities that people don't think about. And then with the CBD and stuff, we're going to work on some ways to, if you overdo it, we're going to fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
We
I
got
like
some ways
that.
to do that too.
I like that.
So there's a whole bunch of different things, adding different things to the medicine to more fine tune it, like Chris was talking about too. So there's a whole bunch of different things there in different areas we can go. And then, of course, expanding into other states as well. Hopefully, creating some educational programs also, which is going to be one
that'll
of our
be
big
big.
ones.
Yeah, yeah, that's
that'll be coming up next, as Chris was talking about. The bud tenders are going to start having to have a class. Who better to teach the class?
Correct.
Than the people that started this.
Yep.
The
Correct.
people that you get your information from anyway, your doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the person who
That's where it
should be teaching the
from
class.
anyways,
Yeah,
so-
exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, I sat there and watched that happen, and at a dispensary, I was like, oh God, I didn't want to say anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, my gosh, she's not going to ever want to do this again.
happens.
It happens a
Oh, my
lot.
gosh. And then
And people talk about it all the time. They're like, this doesn't do anything to me, so I can do this.
Right.
No, it's not the same. The two, an edible and smoking is not the same.
No.
You know what I'm saying? A tincture and an edible is not the same.
No.
A nano, a water soluble is not the same as oil based.
It is not
so
the same.
It's not the same. So,
It is
exactly. Yeah,
we'll
have to have a whole deal on that one.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, there's so
product's
much
a
into
whole
that.
other
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
And I think that's what's unique.
So
That's
much
what's
different.
unique about the market right now is that there's so much that's out here.
Oh yeah.
that
Oh my gosh, there's so much. Out there.
You're getting better, right, into the state that you
Yeah.
are at that moment. But even though you're still preventing new things to come,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
You're
Yep.
combating things to get to feel good, and now that you feel good, you're preventing things to go. And so it's going to change because what's beautiful about cannabis, whatever you're using now is not what you're going to stay with. Not just because the market is robust. It's because all of these things have multiple ways of affecting you. And then you got to think about, as a patient or a person participating, what are you doing? What are you trying to heal? And then how is it affecting you? Because, I mean, if you don't sleep, like you mentioned, we don't sleep well, that's going to affect you. If you're not doing smoking and you do an edible and you didn't sleep, or you're not eating, or you're not hydrated, all these other little caveats play into effect of how effectual that medicine is actually going to be for you. And so I think it's fun to keep trying, and like you said, the medicine's working when you can do more.
Yep.
And right now we're seeing a lot of people doing more. So, let's just keep that thing going right there. You guys can find Dr. Sims at Dr. Sims on his Facebook page, on his Instagram. He does blogs, orders. He's got all types of things. You can find him. But you also can sign up and see him. Like he mentioned, he can be your PCP, the Higher Care Clinic, THC2, 1924 East 6th Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They also are online, www.thc2.com. It says all of their services and everything in there. You guys heard it right here from the myth, the man, and the legend. The very first doctor to speak about medicinal cannabis in the state of Oklahoma, the leading medicinal state in the country, and then he is still leading the way. We want to thank you, Dr. Sims, for what you're doing, not only for us, but for this country, on behalf of all the medical professionals, and you're also educating. Let me go ahead and just toot his horn a little bit. Not only has he been educating the patients, but he is on the forefront of giving the educations to other physicians and nurses. He has helped, I believe in the clinic, he's already had 25 doctors or plus come through there that's got his education, let alone the nurse practitioners and the RNs that have just spanned throughout this industry. And so we're not one on keeping numbers in that realm, because we know that there's just a plethora of people that need it. And so we continue to push that. And Dr. Sims, thank you for doing that.
No problem.
We really appreciate that. I'm telling you, our state is that much better because of this man right here. So kudos. And if you guys need your licenses, we need to keep going. Yeah, so with that, guys.
We lost our buttons.
I lost the buttons.
We lost the buttons.
We want to thank you guys for following us. We want to thank you guys for watching. We ask that you guys come back next week. We're going to have another one next Wednesday. It's going to be the Bambizzle.
We'll sing it out.
And
We'll
yeah,
sing.
we'll
We can do our own. We can do our own music.
We can do our own music,
Ebony
our own theme
and
music going out.
Ivory.
And so, guys, Ebony and Ivory, hold on, coming in with the reverse
Yep.
Oreo.
Right, there you
see
go.
that on the other side
Other
right there? There it is. Guys, MCM, Perry Jones III. We got Chris. We've got Dr. Jason Sims here. We thank you guys for tuning in. Like us, follow us, share us, let others know about us, and we'll see you next week, all right? Thank you, guys.